Well, game two, and it's another exciting new talent to the world of darts from mainland Europe. It is the Bolt. I didn't even know he had that nickname. Sebastian Bialecki, a man who made his debut at the UK Open last year and hit a 9-darter in his very first game. In fact, he hit it so early on in the tournament, nobody's really paying attention. We couldn't get it on film. It was only about leg 3 of the very first game on one of the outer boards. But he takes on one of the North American cadre that we'll see in action today. It is Matt Campbell, a man who certainly I've been impressed with when I've seen. Last year I thought he played absolutely fantastically. Hasn't quite got going this year, but I think it's only a matter of time before he does. And the winner of this goes through to round 2, where they will play Joe Mernon.
Yeah, that would be a second round match, and the winner of that little cluster would play Keegan Brown. So a very interesting section.
First leg, Sebastian to throw first. Game on.
But when I saw the board 2 list, Dan, I was really looking forward to watching Sebastian Bialecki because he's always posting his results on social media, but
21.
You want to see someone a bit more close up. You want to look at their technique, their temperament, get more information, like we've just got from Schmutzler. I'm with you on Matt Campbell, though. I think we have yet to see what he can really do this year. It's really key for him, in my opinion, to keep playing. Keep playing. Keep playing. If he's eliminated in things, find somewhere else to play if you can. The more reps he gets, the more dangerous he will get.
Yeah, I mean, it's no guarantee. We've seen players before have really good years when they've not been on the tour, and they've excelled when we've seen them in action, whether it be Challenge Tour or working their way into a Euro Tour or whatever. And then they've got their tour card, as Matt has done, and then it hasn't worked out. One of the best examples I can think of, and I know he's played lots of darts, he's been on and off the tour, but Michael Barnard had a year where he was absolutely incredible, smashing in 100 averages on the Challenge Tour every week. And then when he was playing on the Pro Tour, he was picking up wins and beating big names, got on the tour the following year, and it all fell apart for him. And he hasn't played that well since then, to be honest.
140.
It's very fair.
But it would be strange if that happened to Matt Campbell.
Especially considering the company he's keeping. He's knocking around with Darren Webster and Jeff Smith, who's a very close friend of his World Cup partner, of course. He's being kept very busy, that's for sure, in the demolition department of Darren's business.
And last I saw him, Darren Webster had him like ferreting around a building site and chucking stuff in a skip.
That's going to do nothing for your darts game.
41.
Campbell will hate that last dart in the single one, which gives Sebastian 4 18s in bull for the first leg.
54. Match requires 75.
Well, this could have been a little easier. 18 and tops. 1 dart to break.
55.
The Ginger Ninja can't find it.
68.
One of 2 Ginger Ninjas in the sport that I know of. It's a bit of a thing going on in 2022 with 2 people having the same nickname. But that's a miss at double 16 for Sebastian to take the first leg, and Campbell comes back. Should fancy this.
Less so now, maybe.
Yeah, was obscuring it.
Bialecki
gets the chance to settle himself into this game. A rather nervy first leg of the contest.
On the first leg, Sebastian Bialecki.
Well, he holds his throw, not without, well, I say a bit of a scare, a lot of a scare from Matt Campbell. Should have been his leg, really. Just got messy at the end of it.
42.
There's one thing I always look forward to watching with Matt Campbell. I know this makes me a complete and utter darting geek. But if you look at the way he delivers his darts, as we get our first maximum from Sebastian, just look at this satisfying little twist of the dart.
That is satisfying.
It's almost hypnotic.
58.
And it's so controlled that if you were to measure how many times he spins the dart, it's probably the same to the millimetre every time. But I don't know how much you've seen of Sebastian Bialecki, but this is a solid smooth action that he owns.
It looks effortless, doesn't it? I mean, it looks like he is expending literally no effort.
91.
It's another player from the emerging darting nation of Poland who is not going to give much away while he's playing. Krzysztof Kachuk, Krzysztof Ratajski, Sebastian Bialecki. I mean, Ratajski's been an incredible player for a number of years. Kachuk and Bialecki are improving.
140.
Yeah, Sebastian definitely subscribes to the psychological aspect of the great Ratajski. He gives nothing away. You wouldn't want to play him in a game of cards, that's for sure.
170.
Well, Bialecki took quite some time pinning the double
92.
in the opening leg.
155.
If you can hurry things along here, it's 2-0.
That's very tidy. And that first leg has calmed him down. We can see an incredible amount of consistency from Sebastian, who very recently on the development tour showed some really good form. And he will come into this with some confidence.
Yeah, he is sat number 2 on the averages list from the opening development tour weekend. So a consistent level of play. Other players took the headlines. Josh Rock, understandably, playing some incredible stuff and picked up a title. There's some other players, like I said, Bradley Brooks, who picked up a title as well. Keen Barry.
95.
He didn't find himself in any finals, Sebastian, but he did go deep in a number of those events, played a lot of games, and as I say, was number 2 in the averages list. So the standard of play that he produced was very good.
I think he must subscribe to the Andy Hamilton
100.
way of doing a dart shirt as well. Pick a nice neutral colour, then throw in a bit of mustard.
To be fair, when I first saw it, I thought he was wearing one of the World Cup shirts. It's got that vibe, hasn't it?
Well, if he finds himself in the World Cup squad with Krzysztof Ratajski, then watch out. But you're right, Poland have done such a good job in putting people in a certain shop window over the last couple of years. Sebastian's just the next off the conveyor belt.
Well, that's what they need. You know, Ratajski is an established player, major winner, won loads of PDC titles. Krzysztof Kachuk, while he's not a young man, is an improving player. You've seen his level improve over the last year or two. What they were lacking was a young player to really break through, and Sebastian Bialecki looks like the most likely candidate at the minute.
Yeah, it's a really good segue actually, because if you talk about Canada, we've had Sean Narain, we've had Dawson Marshall, younger players from Canada, haven't quite made it.
90.
So it's the more established guys like Campbell, like Smith, and some others who are having to fly the flag for Canada right now.
Yeah, I think Awesome Dawson has picked up the darts again. He's sort of inching his way back into the sport. We'll see if... May see him in New York. We'll see.
That's the second time that Campbell's had 170 checkouts. The second time he's found treble 5 with the first dart. So there are habits being found in this game as Sebastian goes for double 16.
36.
Now, Campbell, after having the big fish, has now got the baby fish.
Big fish, little fish, cardboard box. No, not going to hit it.
Where did we come up with this stuff, honestly?
The weekend is young. But Matt Campbell has only managed to knock off 90 points in 2 visits to the board, having had a look at the 170. And double 8 for Sebastian. Well, we saw Fabian Schmutzler go 3-0 up and then had to survive a match dart. But we're seeing Matt Campbell, he is dragging left on a number of darts, isn't he? That 5 segment has not been his friend.
What did Sid used to say about that? Lateral drift?
Yes. A touch of the models. Oh, look at that.
How good was that third dart? That was like having a wall in front of the goal, and then up steps Robert Lewandowski and goes wallop. Top corner.
Well, kicking off a leg with a 180 for the second time in this match. Can't follow it up, Sebastian. Did hit a 9-darter at last year's UK Open.
And then he had one hit against him.
Yeah, Jurjen van der Velde.
I can't wait for him to come through, you know, Jurgen van der Velde. Really big fan of his, because he is going to get his own chant. Jurgen, Jurgen.
There we go. And I will do my utmost, dear viewer, to make sure that's the last time you hear that this weekend, but I cannot promise. Matt Campbell needs to do more here. It's all off, isn't it? He's missing left, he's missing high, he's not able to adjust again if he does miss the target. Bialecki's being allowed to dominate this game and dictate terms.
And he's comfortable with this. He's in cruise control, and Campbell can do nothing from 180. And Bialecki's already hit double 8 in this match. He's already had sighters.
The last 6 darts from Matt Campbell have all been aimed at treble 20, and none of them have been close. He is missing by a distance, and he's not able to adjust, to refocus the sights. The crosshairs are off, and Sebastian Bialecki is just cruising through this game.
This is one of my new favourite throws, this Bialecki throw. It's so nice. I know he's got a little bit of a turn of the dart as it comes towards his eye line, but some of the great players have got that to try and keep the flight away from their eye. Throws from the right-hand side, so he's in Stephen Bunting country.
Yeah, it's always difficult to see on the TV cameras, the ones we've got here, at what sort of angle the darts are going in the board. From looking at this, where he's throwing and the way the darts look, it does look like they kick over to the right-hand side, which is how he's able to hit that 180 earlier on by squeezing it in the corner, when it looked like, if they were going perfectly straight, you'd be looking at the other side of the treble 20. There was loads more room. But it doesn't matter as long as it's consistent, whichever way your darts go in, left, right, up, down. As long as it's consistent, you can use that. You can learn how the darts behave and make the most of it.
81.
I think that's a really big thing these days. If you want to score with the best, you have to know which parts of the trebles you can hit once darts are already
16.
there. I think this is something, on a personal level, that Johnny Clayton hasn't figured out yet. He just throws at the treble, whether it's blocked or not, and somehow finds it.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny's one of those players who his darts, a bit like Terry Jenkins, they're going pretty straight and they don't stick up much. They're not exactly flat, so it's almost as if they're not there at all.
As long as Bialecki doesn't find another 60 here.
140.
Look at that little scoot to the left there, just to open up that single bed. Playing beyond his years. And that seems to be the tune of board 2 so far today. Bialecki for 5-0. Looking good, looking composed, and is 5-0 up.
Well, as a man sat to my left will tell you, 5-0 up is a dangerous lead at the UK Open.
It's all right as long as you get across the line, right?
Yeah. Bit of drama. We don't mind a bit of that.
As my mate from up north, Gordon Dobie, would say it. Well, it made it exciting, didn't it?
140.
Got a tip for the title this weekend? I was asked the question earlier on and then basically stared into the middle distance for 5 minutes, so I went cycling through every name in the tournament thinking they had a chance.
Yeah, I'd pretty much do the same. It's a very open tournament. Obviously, people are going to go for Wright or Price, as the world #1 spot is again up for grabs over the next 3 days. But someone like Luke Humphries, who's already won this year, and there are other potentials as well, especially after last night, Michael van Gerwen.
121.
Well, that's a rare time where Campbell has managed to put a first dart where he wants it. He managed to follow it with another one. Another treble 19 will leave 170. Okay, goes up the board. 167 would have left. I think maybe that's an example where his darts are kicking over and he didn't think he could see much of that treble 19.
16.
Yeah, he doesn't strike me as the kind of player who consistently can get those points very close together. He is going to use all of the 60. But as soon as I say that, he's probably going to score a maximum with all 3 points magnetised.
And again, loads of room to the right, but because his darts kick over, still finds the 180 from the left. Matt Campbell, treble 19 for double 14. Oh, very nearly. That might be the end of the match for Matt Campbell. He's coming good right at the end. Unfortunately, he's already 5-0 down.
It's going to be match darts for the young lad from Poland, double 16. He's got plenty of room.
10.
but didn't give it enough force. Maybe a little bit of a nervy action on that third dart. And double 7 is found, and Campbell can breathe again.
Well, I did, looking at him throw there, as he misses those match darts, if his darts are kicking over to the right, and I say, it's difficult to tell how much they kick over from this angle, but double 16 is going to be a problem if you miss outside. Rob Cross has had all sorts of problems with that over the last 18 months or so. He seems to have ironed them out a little bit. But for Sebastian,
46.
You almost feel that it's going to be easier for him to hit things like double 10, where if he misses outside, it'll help. It's just a funnel into that double. If you miss outside double 16, left-hand side of the board, and your darts are covering a bit of the bed, you can't go left. You're just going further out the board.
It's a very fair assumption that you think about someone like Schmutzler from the first game.
125.
If Bialecki was to employ the same sort of tactics as Schmutzler, maybe double 18 would have been a good call there.
Yeah, he had the choice of double, and evidently double 16 is the one he likes. But it's the same with, you know, Phil Taylor throwing at double, or Justin Pipe throwing at double top. If you miss high, you're covering a lot of the bed. It gets harder. Somebody like Adrian Lewis's darts stick up. You miss just above the double top. It's a perfect guide for him. You know, it's a double-edged sword. What will help you in some instances won't help you in others. So it's about being sensible about what targets you leave. Now, evidently, Sebastian likes double 16. Loads of players do. It breaks down nicely. But if it is going to be kicking over a bit, maybe something like double 18 or double 10 could be a more profitable option.
Got to leave this nice and handy. Doesn't want to leave himself on 101 or 102.
46.
But really good tactics there from Sebastian. The 25 leaves him the 2-darter. Maybe a 2-darter that he has to take now, as Campbell surely goes for the 25 himself.
105.
And does do, to leave himself on a 2-darter. Sebastian, can he get more match darts here? He's already missed 2. Could go double-double. Tries to slide over the top of that one.
For a moment there, I thought he was going to go for treble 12 for double top, and that wouldn't have been a bad play. Campbell doesn't get a shot at a double from 97, so Bialecki this time, Dan, it's 3 darts at a double where he shouldn't be covering the bed.
He shouldn't be. That's covering nothing. And it's that double 10. And more match darts are missed. We saw Fabian Schmutzler, the teenager from Germany, miss 5 match darts before eventually getting over the line.
And Campbell doesn't survive. I think he believes that this is over. But Bialecki has shown a little bit of nerves on the match start. I don't blame him. But now he does get the job done, and he was firmly the better player in that contest. It's a long way from Ontario to Minehead. He may stay in the UK for up-and-coming challenges, but Minehead is not good to the Canadian. Will it be good to someone who is from that continent? Jules van Dongen will join us in the next match. He's up against Mario van der Bohada of Belgium. But as for Bolt, he's through to play Joe Mernon next.